intro of the video. Mind you, I'm making this intro after I've read all these books. This is literally like the last thing I'm doing is making this intro, so yeah. I don't really know how to introduce this other than I entered every single giveaway that Goodreads had to offer from middle of March to end of April or beginning of April. So yeah, that's this video. I entered over 1,600 giveaways and I got 52 books. This video is the process of me entering those giveaways and then reading 4 of the books that I got in physical copy. So enjoy. So I entered every giveaway that Goodreads is offering at the moment. If you're asking yourself a question like, why? Why would you do that? What compelled you to do that? I would ask you, are you not full of whimsy and joy? These are qualities I have. So maybe look within yourself. Do I think I'm going to win all these? Certainly not. Do I think I'm going to win some? Statistically, yes. I entered over 200, and a lot of these did not get a lot of entries. Some had under 500. So I think I'm going to win at least one. Statistically, I have to win at least one. If I do, yeah, this is my Donald Trump is. Yeah, no, if I do, that's the worst Donald Trump impression of all time. I'm not going to go through every single book I enter, but, you know, these books, the farthest it goes out to is, like, the farthest the giveaways go out to is the beginning of next month, beginning of April. So if I win any, I'll check in. If I win any, I will be making another companion video of me reading said books that I read. So be prepared, because I bet that video is going to be a lot more interesting than this. Some of these books just look so thrilling, you know? Sorry. Yeah. I've got a smartwatch. I'm kind of techie. But some of these books just like, do I need to read Emotional Intelligence Habits? I don't know, but I entered the giveaway. Some of these books truly look bad. If I win it, trust that I will be reading it. I'll be reading all the way through. I'm not going to be DNFing, that's do not finish. I'm not going to be DNFing any of these books. If I win them, I will be reading all the way through. And I'll be making a reading vlog. So, be prepared. I hope I win a lot. That'd be so fun. Some of these are just Kindles, Kindle novels. And, so, well, they're not all novels. Some of them are just Kindle books, and some are actual physical, real books. So, I hope I win at least one physical book. But the ones that had fewer people enter were Kindle ones. So, the statistical probability that I'm winning a Kindle book over a physical book, much higher. Oh yeah, I did enter 2 kids book giveaways. So, chances are that I get those. Well, you know, if I get them, I'll probably give them to my little niece. But I will also read them prior to. I'll probably read them out, you know, in front of all of you. As, like, it's circle reading time at the library. Did you guys' libraries have circle reading time? That was, like, the one thing that I really loved. Not the one thing. I loved the library as a kid. Can you tell? But I loved going to circle reading time as a little kid. And then when I got to be older and I, like, didn't go to circle reading time anymore, I used to love to go to the library and see all the little kids at circle reading time. And I'd be like, oh my gosh, I remember when I was that small. Not anymore. I'm basically an adult. And I was like, 12. Some of these really do look super interesting, though. Fingers crossed. They're, like, not giving away just one copy. It's, like, multiple copies. Some of them have, like, up to 100 copies of these books that are being given away. So, again, more statistical probability that I will, in fact, win. I just hope the books that I win are the good ones. I mean, they're all good. Especially, you know, oh my gosh, this one does not look as good. when I tell you some of these, like, it's, the title of this is called Playing Blackjack with God. If I get that one, fingers crossed I get that one. It is truly an immaculate cover. I gotta tell you. The meta reverse. Some of these books just look so interesting. Okay. I don't have a lot more to update on this video yet, seeing as I haven't won any books yet. Fingers crossed, y'all. Even if I don't win some of these, they look very interesting. Like, some of them look interesting. And I'll be keeping them, like, once you enter the giveaway, it puts the book in your, want to read. What, I don't know what the shelf's called. Want to read? I'm pretty sure it's called want to read. List. So I'll keep those books in there. I'll take the ones that don't look as interesting. You know how it goes. I'll take those ones out. And I've come to the bottom of the list. Yeah. We will see what goes down with this giveaway situation. Fingers crossed, y'all, that I get a lot of books here. Statistically, there's a chance that I'm going to be receiving one at least, hopefully more than one, seeing as I entered so many of these. It wasn't hard. I just had to click like a button. But, you know, it was time that I spent entering all of these, and I deserve something. So, you know what? Even if I don't win one, you better like and subscribe to the video. Yeah, and if you don't, I can't do anything because I can't freaking see you. I'm talking to my phone camera right now. What the hell am I supposed to do? I'll update you once these start rolling in. Peace and love, y'all. Peace and love.
Hey, it is April 15th, and I figured I ought to update everyone on the status of my giveaways. I totaled it all up, and I came up with 52 books that I won out of over 1,000 books, out of over 1,000 giveaways that I entered. I could have missed a few emails, deleted a few accidentally, so it's definitely possible that I won more books. Most of these are Kindle books. I haven't received all of my hardcovers or like my actual physical books in the mail, but I've received a fair few. I've got 5 already, and I've got more coming in as the days go by. So, but I think I've mostly like finished out where the giveaways that I've entered already. So, I'm gonna start reading the books, and we will see where we go from there. But this is gonna become sort of like a reading vlog. Let me grab the first book that I'm reading. Okay, so it's actually 2 books because one's fiction, one's nonfiction. The first one is Making Room. This is the first book that I got in the mail. But it is a nonfiction book about homeless LGBTQ teens. So that's what this book is. And then this one is Lovers and Liars. I think it's a romance book. Both of these are advanced uncorrected proofs. Basically like an advanced reader's copy. They're not available yet. Making Room comes out on the 21st of May, and Lovers and Liars comes out on the 14th of May, which is my birthday, which is why I'm reading this one first. I want to get these finished before they actually come out for publication and get my reviews finished for them to let you guys know. Yeah. So I'm going to try and keep this as short and as nice as possible, but I finished Lovers and Liars and didn't really like it. But most of my issues are with the ending, and so to try and keep this as fair as possible, and not really let like the recency effect take over this, I'm gonna try and, you know, keep it as fair as possible, right? So it's not that I didn't totally enjoy this book. Like, for the first 2/3, I will show you, I actually dog tagged where I picked up this morning. That is how far, this is how far I was into the book before I really started to dislike the book. So I was a fair way into it, and I was enjoying it. Like, it wasn't a can't put it down, page turner type thing, because it's just not really my genre. I don't read a lot of contemporary fiction. No, I'm not really a romance reader, so that's just like not really my thing. But I was enjoying it. You know, the writing style was a little bit like, I never know like the best word. First thing that comes to mind is juvenile. Like, it sort of felt like not totally refined. Could have done a few more maybe passes through. Obviously this is a uncorrected proof, but I still think it's like, it wasn't just issues with editing, because this is just like, you know, issues with the prose that I had and whatever. And so, you know, but it wasn't the worst, right? Like, I was enjoying it enough, to the point where I could get through it. But then I got to where I picked up today. Like I said, there was about a third left in the book, and I was just like, really? Like, this is where this book has led up to? The whole point of this book was this. And so I'm gonna sort of go over my issues with the book, and if you are interested in reading this book, don't watch this part of the video, like, at all. This book, it will have come out, most likely, by the time this video is out. But at the time I am making this, it is not out yet. This book comes out on May 14th, 2024. So, if you are interested in reading this book, this is going to be spoilers, so just, like, skip ahead. But, the issues that I had with this book are really with, like, the main twist, right? And it's not a twist at all, because, like, it's revealed in the very beginning of the book. But it's like, I didn't understand why it was such a big deal, right? Because, essentially, Simon, who is one of the main characters, Sylvie, there's 3 main characters, Sylvie, Emma, and Cleo. And Simon, who is Sylvie's fiance, is divorced, and his ex-wife, Thisbe, her father, let me see if I can find the actual literal quote, because I was like, okay, this was literally like, this is what pissed me off the worst. I was like, this is what this whole fucking book has been leading up to, right? Like, oh, seriously, this is the fucking twist. This is what the liars part of the book leads into. Are you serious right now? And it pissed me off bad. So I was like, okay, here it is. Dear Sylvie, I am a coward, so instead of telling you the truth while I look you in your eyes, I am going to write it down. I just hung up the phone with Thisbe. In order to explain what she wants, I need to tell you what I have done. I had wanted to be the one person who did not disappoint you, yet here we are in this bleak castle where everything always goes to hell. How can I explain this situation with Thisbe? In broad strokes, Thisbe's father works for corrupt politicians. I don't know the details, but I know he is ruthless. All my money is corrupt. I was like, he works for corrupt politicians? And I was like, I'm gonna need more fucking details if this is going to matter to me, right? Like, and this is sort of like an issue that I've had with the book as a general thing. Like, the motivations in this book were not strong enough for me. My least favorite character in like the main cast is Cleo, because her motivations were just like not good enough for me at all. She is in love, or she's possibly in love, like that's how she sort of introduces the idea, with her best friend Isaac. But she can't date Isaac because Isaac's mom wants him to only marry a Jewish girl, and that's the issue. That's why she can't tell him. Like, okay, So Isaac doesn't have any agency here? You can't tell him because he has no agency in this? Like, I don't, that's no stakes. Absolutely zero stakes. I'm sorry. There was no indication that he was religiously Jewish as well as ethnically Jewish, right? But the whole point was, and it was mentioned one singular time, the reason that Cleo cannot tell Isaac that she is in love with him is because Isaac's mother wants Isaac to marry a Jewish girl. And that's the whole overarching, and that is her whole, like, essentially, the whole motivation of her character is that she's in love with him, but she can't tell him. I'm like, are you serious? This means absolutely nothing to me because you can tell him. You can't, it doesn't matter. He is not his mother. Insane, absolutely insane. And then, same thing with the motivations with Sylvie, who I already have introduced. She's the one who sort of kickstarts this whole, she's sort of like the main character, I would say. And her motivations aren't really not clear to me at all until, like I said, this last third. And then I was like, oh, that's why she's so upset. She's a widow, and her first husband, Andrew, is it Andrew? I think it's Andrew. Her first husband, Andrew, he obviously died. He died in a car accident. And you don't know, so she's getting married, obviously, and she's, like, really reticent. Like, as she's getting closer and closer to the wedding, she's like, oh, no, I don't know if I actually want to marry him. I don't know if I actually want to marry him. Like, she's, like, really, like, backing off. And you're like, okay, I'm really not understanding why this is an issue until, like, this very last third, and all of a sudden, oh, his name's Alexander. It's not Andrew. All of a sudden, we're getting into her inner monologue. She's like, I feel like I'm betraying Alexander, who is just like, and she says this is like her words paraphrased, but she's like, Alexander, he was just this really good guy because he stayed sober so long, because he was an alcoholic and then he got sober. Plot twist there, he didn't actually get he fell off the wagon and that's why he died. Also, the twist was not done well in that case either, because we know, like, halfway through the book, no tension in this book at all, let me tell you. Because when we get to the point where Simon is telling Sylvie about the dirty money, I'm still confused about why this money is dirty. Because Simon gets one lump sum from Thisbe's father, and all of a sudden he's like, my whole money is corrupt. He's British. I don't think I mentioned that. But he's like, my money, it's corrupt, yeah? It's because I took it from this guy. I'm like, he works for corrupt politicians. So, I literally don't understand what that means. You're gonna have to elaborate if you want me to be able to suspend my disbelief or be able to hop aboard this fucking train of, yeah, this is an issue. Because it's not an issue to me. Do you know how many people work for shady politicians? It's a whole industry. Lobbying is a whole industry. I don't get why this isn't really an issue at all. But I guess it is. So, yeah, there was just absolutely no motivations, and it just really pissed me off. And then the ending just really devolved from there. One thing that also pissed me off, this book really likes to parade itself as being, like, about sisters and about family, and that's really kind of what got me interested in this book. Well, not interested, because, like, I was gonna read this book anyway because I got it for free, and I was gonna do this video. But when I started reading it, it's what compelled me to continue reading it, because I really like stories about family and, like, the connections interweaving between families and complicated family relationships. And so I was like, okay, yeah, I can get down with this book. And it, like, masks it about being this. And there's one fucking line in here. This is the line. This is near the ending, like I said, in the ending that I hate. Sylvie she just decided that she was not going to marry her fiance, and then she decided that she was going to marry her fiance. So that's where we're at right now. But this is before she's going to marry her fiance reveal has been revealed. So, this is the line. Oh yeah, she's been confronted by her sisters. It's really, okay, let me try and give some context. So, Cleo's the oldest, Emma is the middle, and Sylvie's the youngest. And Cleo is a high-power lawyer. There's Emma. I haven't talked about Emma a lot because I don't really have many issues with Emma and her story. Her story is one of the only storylines in this that has clear motivation in it. And then there's Sylvie, and I've talked about Sylvie, and the dirty money thing, and Alexander, her husband, and that. And so it's all coming to a boil at the rehearsal dinner. Emma is drunk. She just told her husband that she is in $50,000 and some in debt. She used all of their savings on all of that, and she's deep, deep, deep in debt. And Sylvie is going to reveal to, no, not Sylvie. Cleo is going to reveal to Sylvie about Alexander and how he fell off the wagon, and Sylvie didn't know this. Sylvie didn't know that prior to this one exact moment. And she comes in, and Sylvie's all pissed, and then, like, half an hour later, this is the line. But Sylvie was not alone. She had no Alexander, but she had her sisters. From the day she was born, she had been loved by her sisters. Let me tell you how this fucking book starts. Sylvie's sisters never answered when she called, no matter how many times of the day. Sometimes she would text, "Hey, anyone free to chat this weekend?" Mostly they would not reply at all. But yeah, her sisters, they're always around for her. I'm sorry, that has absolutely not been clear in this book. They've had like 4 fucking conversations this whole book. If you weren't interested in this book, the writing was fine. It wasn't poorly done in any, by any means. I didn't love the ending. I thought the ending was just like really slapdash. There was like too many aspects, too much shit going on for the ending. And it wasn't well fleshed out either, as I have demonstrated. But always support authors, I think. This book will almost certainly be out by the time I am posting this. That's all I'm gonna say.
Okay, so I am actually recording. This is my 3rd attempt to try and make this. And it's literally just a quick update on what I've read. Okay, so I finished Unladylike Rules of Attraction by Amita Murray. And for a historical romance, which is, to beat a dead horse, not something that I often read, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was very well written, and it wasn't too, como se dice, it didn't focus too much on just the will they, won't they of the romance. There was more to the plot that helped keep me interested. I think if you do like historical romance, this book, and then I think there's one prior to this, and there will be one coming after, because it says a Marley Sisters novel, and then she has an older sister, Lila, and a younger sister, Myra. Anya? Yeah. An older sister, Lila, and a younger sister, Myra. So I think Lila probably has her own book, and then, so there's already one in this, like, the Marley Sisters series, and I'm assuming there'll be one after, because there's 3 Marley sisters. So if you like historical romance or romance in general, I would recommend checking Amita Murray out. It was a very well written novel, and it wasn't too like focused on just the characters were well thought out and their motivations, and it was a very good book. So what the heck is this? Okay. Sorry, I got distracted. I'm just kids these days. Next, I am currently reading The Tearsmith by Aaron Doom, which, if you know anything about that book, yep, I've got thoughts, certainly. I would probably be doing a whole dedicated video to that book, because it's something. I'm about 300 pages into that one. And then I think I will finish that one and then finish making room, and I'm gonna leave this video off there. And I will and then what I'm planning on doing after that is, once I finish making room and the tearsmith and doing all that jazz, I will, next part of this video will probably do me finishing up all the physical copies that I got, and those are all nonfiction. So I'll finish those. Most of them are memoirs, I'm pretty sure. I'll finish those, and then I'll move on to the Kindle books, and I'll probably have to cut those up in several different ways because I have a lot of Kindle editions that I've got to get through. So, but I do want to get through these. It's, you know, it's been a while, obviously, since I've made a video, but it's fun for me to come back to it, just as a way for me to express myself. I'm a big verbal processor, so especially when I read books, talking out how I feel about them is, you know, it's interesting, and coming to like an idea of, I entered every single Goodreads giveaway. I only did that because it's like, I was bored at work. I was like, dang, I hope I win some of these books. And so I was like, whoa, what if I made a YouTube video? I have a YouTube channel that I haven't touched in however many years. So what if I did that? I'm just interested in seeing how it goes. I might not even post it. I hope I do. I just want to give an update. I finished the tearsmith. I literally forced myself to get through the last 350 pages of, or let's see, I was on page 300. There's 550 pages in this book. 250 pages of this book today, so that I would like be on track to get this video out by the end of the month. So I was like, I need to get through this, otherwise I'm just gonna not ever pick this book up again. When I found out that I won this book and I learned like what the book actually was, I was like, okay, you know, this book won't be good, but at least it'll be funny. But this book is so boring. Like, it's 550 pages. The book stops being interesting after page 400. I'm like, no, I just lied to you. The book stops being interesting after page 250. So you're like, how are you gonna fill any more? There's no more story after page 250. It's all just repetitive junk. I'm like, what? Like I said, I'm gonna make a video on this book, so I'm not gonna get too much more into it. But I wanted to say that I finished it. I'm going to try and finish making room by the end of this week, and I will give you an update then. So I finished Making Room by Carl. I just made that 3 syllables. Carl Siciliano. And I thought it was fine. It was good. The writing didn't like knock my socks off. It was no My Year of Magical Thinking. But you know, it's hard to be Joan Didion, you know? Is that how you say her last name? I really hope I didn't. Didion. I think it's Didion. It's no My Year of Magical Thinking by Joan Didion, but like, how could you even match that level, right? Like, I haven't read a whole lot of other, I don't read a lot of nonfiction. To be honest, you guys, it bores me. So reading this one was a bit of a slog for me. Not because of what I realized I didn't really say what this book was about, when I mentioned it first. I mean, I hadn't really read it yet, so this book is about, it's by Carl Siciliano, the founder of the Ali Forney Center, which is a center for LGBT homeless youth, and it's about Carl Siciliano, the author, and his relationship with the Ali Forney, the namesake of the Ali Forney Center, and that, and sort of the making of that. So I thought it was good. I thought the content in the book was good. But yeah, just like sometimes the writing was a little bit, not exactly tedious, but a little bit like, you can tell that this guy's first path in life is not writer, if that makes any sense. There was just a few things here and there I was like, okay. Again, I don't read a lot of nonfiction. I don't read a lot in this area. This is not my area of expertise, so I'm not an expert in anything. But I thought it was good. Yeah. That being said, I'm gonna move into the wrap up for this video. Right. Yeah. So, would I recommend that you guys do this? Enter every single Goodreads giveaway. First of all, when you enter the giveaway, the book automatically goes into your want to read shelf. That's really annoying because I don't always want to read these books. No offense to the authors, but some of them I'm like, I have no interest in reading this. Like, I don't care about being a SEO. Do you be an SEO or is it like an SEO object? I don't know. Again, I don't care. I don't really care about finance. Never mind that I work at a bank. I work at a credit union. Never mind that I work in finance, right? Like, I don't really care, right? It's just like my 9 to 5, I clock in, I clock out. So I don't have any care beyond that. So, yeah, I probably wouldn't recommend entering all of these. Did I find it fun? Sure. This is probably the closest thing I'm ever going to come to gambling. So, yeah. I mean, was it enjoyable? Yeah, definitely. I was like, ooh, touch the little button, and then wake up to an email and be like, congrats, you won. I was like, yes, I'm a winner of this book that I have truly no interest in reading. No offense to the authors. There are a lot of books that I discovered from these giveaways, and so I'm really interested in reading those, and the ones that I didn't get, I'll probably purchase because I want to support indie authors. That's something that's like, pretty important to me as someone who wants to be an author. So, these books that I didn't win, I will probably end up reading and purchasing to support the authors, no matter if I do or do not like them. So, we'll see how that goes down the line. I'm not saying that all these books that I entered, all the giveaways that I entered were like, oh my gosh, this book's so ridiculous. No, a lot of them were actually good. We can see with some of the books that I read, like, Unladylike Rules of Attraction. I would have never read that if it weren't for this video. And I really enjoyed that read. So, yeah. As to where we're going next, there will be a part 2, probably part 3 and 4 sometime along the line. But to be honest, you guys, I really want to read books that I want to read and not books that I would just won in a contest, especially since a lot of them are nonfiction books. Yeah. And like I said, I don't read a lot of nonfiction because it's boring to me. Sorry to any nonfiction writer. It's not your fault that I really have a very short attention span. It's not my fault that I'm kids these days. Okay? That's literally not my fault. But, yeah, sorry. That is where we're leaving this right now. So go ahead and like and subscribe and check out my Goodreads. Check out my Letterboxd if you like movies. Check out my Substack if you want to read what I've written. I haven't written there in a long time. But feel free to check it out. I've written some stuff there. And other than that, I guess that's all. Bye. Bye now. Bye-bye. Bye. Bye-bye now. Bye-bye. Bye. Bye-bye now. That really upset Tux.